Hey, how's it going, everyone? My name is Amos, and in today's video, we're going to be checking out Cheese Security Incorporated. This is a game that has entered into this year's Solitaire Print and Play Design Contest, and it's designed by Joachim Antonio from the Philippines. Now, this video is going to be a playthrough and a review at the end. Not necessarily a tutorial, but I think by watching me play, you'll pretty much understand the game mechanics. And cheese security is that classic cat versus mouse, and in this case, it's going to be a rat, a Tom and Jerry type of game. So I can lose the game by three variables. Number one, if the rat ends up getting his goal, which is the cheese, then yeah, the game is over. And then number two, if I fall into one of the rat's traps, then yeah, I lose. And then number three, if the rat calls us backups and I get ambushed, then yeah, I lose. However, I can win the game if I catch the rat, with the net from the locker room. So without further ado, let's go ahead and give this game a go. So first off, I get to pick one of these guards, which is obviously a cat. I'm going to go with orange, put him right here. And then the rat, I get to pick one of these. He has to be on the opposite side of this 5x5 layout, which means he's going to be right here. Let's pick this one. And as you can see right here, the little timer, it's going to be the number that's right here. So it's going to be a 4. So let me go ahead and put it as let me put it as a number 4. Now let's get started. Now my little orange cat can move in two directions as depicted by the two white arrows that are on the rat's card. So I can move this way or this way. And as you can see, there's no cards over here. So I end up being over here. And my goal is to get to the locker room, which, let me see, is right here in order to flip it and get the net. Once I get the net, then I can catch the little rat and say, "Hey, we beat him," which means he'll end up right here. And consequently, now the rat has to move based on the guard's new card's black arrow, which is down, which means he goes over down this way. He ends up right here. And now the turn ends with me going from 4 down to the 3. And now we repeat that cycle. So based on the two white arrows that are here, I can move them right here, or I can move them down this way, which I think I want to do, because if I do that, it ends up right here. Let's go ahead and do that. So my cat goes down this way, which ends up in the locker room, which means I can flip it. And now it's telling me to flip the ventilation, sewage, and roof deck. Now let's go ahead and do that. Let's see, y'all are going to have to help me find this. Okay, ventilation's right there. Click it, and it's there. Where is sewage? Sewage. Okay. The last one is going to be the roof deck. The rat has to move this way, which is, I believe, like this. Wait, I'm not sure. Where would he go if it's like, if he goes diagonal here? I'm not exactly sure. Treat the top row as adjacent to the bottom row and the leftmost column as adjacent to the rightmost column. So I'm assuming he goes right here. Okay, so that ends the turn, and now I have the net, which means I just basically have to catch the mouse, meaning we have to end up on the same tile, then I win the game. Now we can end the game by going 3-2, and now we repeat the process. I can move this way, or I can move up. I think I want to go up, because if I go up, then I end up over here, I believe, which would bring him down over here. And based off of that, I don't think anything happens, so I can bring this down to a 1. And we basically repeat the process again. So let's see, I can go over here, which would bring him over here. But if I go over here, that means I end up over here on the net. I guess it's better to go right here, which would bring them right here. And now it's down to 1. So we got to flip it. It's a 0. And when that happens, this has to be flipped. I think this basically means if the rat is here and the timer goes to 0, then you flip this. So let's click to flip it. And now it's a warm. All right, now we're going to reset the timer based on the number that the rat is depicting, which is going to be a 2. So let's flip this over, put it to a 2. Now let's go. And now we repeat the process again. So I can go over here, which would bring them right here. So I can go down there, which would bring them down. Okay, so let's go ahead and go right here, which would bring them over here. And if a guard lands right here, you can flip this over, which is a bag of chips. And when a guard is on this tile, as depicted by this white icon right here, that means I can move the rat anywhere from north, south, west to east. So let me just sit here and think about where I want to move him. Let me think about this.
6.5 hours later.
All right, so I think I'm going to go ahead and move this guy right here. And with that, I turn the timer from 2 to a 1, and we repeat the process. So I'm going to go ahead and move this way using that arrow right there, which means the mouse, I keep calling mouse, the rat moves this way. So he goes this way and ends up right here, which means now this goes to its 0 and this gets flipped. Okay, so when this happens, I have to flip over the display room. So let's see. Oh, right here. Display room gets flipped, which means this is the cheese. So if he lands on the cheese or any one of these yellow bannered tiles, I lose the game. Alrighty. So now I get to reset the timer to the number 4. So let me flip this and we'll go to number 4 right here. And I can go to the right or I can go up. I think I'm going to go up because if I go up, then he needs to move this way, which would lead him right here. And it looks like I caught him and I won, I think. I think I won. I beat the game. Wow. This is my 3rd time playing it, and it's my 1st time beating it, which is amazing because I'm filming and recording it, and that's amazing. That's a great feeling because I don't like losing. So can you imagine if I was recording it and I lost for the 3rd time, playing it for the 3rd time? All right, so what are my thoughts and opinions after playing this game 3 times? I think I'm going to give some, critiques, some constructive criticism and feedback up front, and then I'll talk about what I liked after that. So I've been watching Cheese Security develop for the past couple months on the BGG forums in silence, in the background, just watching it evolve and develop. I think what I want to say is this: less is more. Sometimes simplicity is just better, right? And I say that because I've watched it change over time. Sometimes it's for the better to make the game flow a little bit more smoothly. But I just feel like from watching the earlier versions, I think Cheese Security was almost perfect at its earlier version of 1.7. Right now, I'm playing the 1.13, and it's just a little too much going on. Way too much icons and rules that were introduced since the 1.7 version. With that said, I feel like it was a little bit better when the game was in a 4x4 layout with the text and font being underneath the room right here saying like, well, if you land here, then flip. I like the text being here instead of these various icons. I feel like it's just a little too much and an opportunity to make the game a little bit better. I feel like it would be fun if the guard could also set up traps around the tiles to beat the rat versus just catching them with the locker room net. Because when you think about it, the rat has 3 conditions in which he can beat me, right? Whereas for the guard, the only way I can beat the game is by landing on the same tile as him and catching him. So I feel like if there's a way to introduce some guard traps, I think that would be awesome. Now, with that said, what do I like about it? I think Cheese Security as a game is just fun. I mean, watching it develop over the weeks has been an enjoyable experience. I think, as a guy who's just playing these games, I'm not designing anything. I'm just an average guy that's here to enjoy these solitaire games, right? And it's good. It's fun. I think the concept is fantastic. I love the idea of a cat guard trying to catch a rat. I think that's funny and it's awesome. Just a little too much going on with the icons and the rules. I think if you were to just simplify it and make it a little bit more concise, I think that would make the game even better. And a variable that is really important to me is the replayability factor. And the fact that I played this 3 times and I'm still having fun speaks volumes, because there's other games where the rules are so convoluted and it's so complex, just setting it up is a chore, right? And then once you get through with it, you're almost like relieved that it's over. I feel like Cheese Factory is still in the territory of being simple enough and fun enough to have that replayability factor going in its favor. But with that said, I still think it's a very clever game that's really fun. The earlier versions were my preferred ones, but ultimately, you are the designer. You can do as you please. Yeah, great job. I loved it. I wouldn't be surprised if Cheese Security ends up winning some of the prizes and titles in this year's contest. So good luck. Bye bye.